to these guys, and if he's able to get close to Allgaier, who's opened up a big lead, it could be a show. Number 9 plus 4 since the restart, paying off statistically what we're talking about. And he's got more right in front of him. Eric Almirola is there. You got Connor Engine number 9 playing quite nicely tonight as he moves around. He's got a great handling race car camera.
Actually, the handling not great. The speed is good on that cover. Ross came on and said, we went from too tight to too loose. He said, in fact, so loose I'm looking.
How's that there, little bro?
It's been a while since I've had
Just
a
emerging
free
second.
look at what's the next time. Maybe just not keeping up with the migration of the racetrack. Earlier in practice, they were so happy they were able to do a very long run in practice. So
Wait, let me try.
again, they've got pace, but not the balance, Dylan.
Yeah, another car that's been an early mover is Taylor Gray in the 54 car. Started 24th. They played the strategy right there, flipped the stage before the end of stage 1 and got some track position. And then Taylor had a couple of good moves on the restart as well to gain some spots. They were a little bit tight this morning in practice, actually a lot tight. Spoke to Jason Ratcliffe and he said, I want to emphasize being good on the bottom. That's what we did in practice. And if we're good down there, I think we'll be able to move around and shouldn't have any issues. So whenever they down in the 54, it's at least worked for them. And Gray's good on the move, Carla.
Another driver that sounds like they've learned more in the first half of the season than Sammy Smith. You think about him getting DQ to Charlotte last week after finishing fifth, but he's still in a great mental state today. You even go back to his DQ and him capitalizing on a DQ at Rockingham and then penalized at Martinsville. He's in the Martinsville situation. Might have been the best thing that's ever happened to him. He's also been mentored by Hall of Famer Carl Edwards. For this off-track mentality this season, that seems to be held by a lot of
Well, that's never bad to have a Hall of Famer give you some good advice. I agree with the sentiment there around what happened with Sammy at Martinsville and how he sort of changed his outlook and has made him probably have to look at things from a higher level. And he has in the past. He gets real tight here. Daniel Dye in his rear bumper right now. Not going to be happy about that. That's not going to play well inside the race car.
But how about not? In the way they played the strategy, you get those stage points, and it's working out well because now, there's so many times you give it up, you couldn't get it back after you get the points. He's doing it, driving back up through there, and much needed, as I said, at DNF last week at Charlotte, they needed to come back.
Right, and after, he had the lead there, but lost it down at turn 1 when they stayed out during that caution towards the end of stage 1, and he sort of lost the front end, went up the racetrack, but recovers nicely and stayed there in the top 10, so that was pretty impressive to see. I think he would love to have that restart back and be able to do it again, but I think he has to speed that race car that had he stayed out there, he possibly could have won that stage.
Well, if you think about Evans and Benedetto were up there, and they did finish in the top 3. He fell back right around fifth there at the end of the stage. For third, Eric Almirola, 1921 Austin Hill. And by the way, as Almirola completes the pass, I'm glad for the sake of Ross Chastain that the car's not handling well. I hate it because he is just cutting through there. And Kim said he's got speed, just not the handle. If they find that in this final stage, 9 will be really dangerous.
And also, when we're on board with Chastain, you can see him working the outside and making it work on the exit. It's so tough to do here as you go on board with Austin Hill, who running that side, he doesn't get that momentum on the top side that you see on the exit of the corners, whereas the 9 seems to, every time we go on board with him, he closes on the cars in front on the exit of the corner.
Well, he's to the edge of that dark blue that's been run with him, and he's been almost single-handedly pushing that. I feel like some guys kind of run up, but he's been to the absolute tip top of it, and you have to be so disciplined to not jump that extra little bit and look for that line. But it seems like he's stabilized a little bit. Really interesting to hear as you see him get loose. Really interesting to hear the report there about him not being super happy with the handling of the race car. I think some of that, it can come down to track conditions. Some of that can come down to not being in this car, really much before, but he's still making it work when he's uncomfortable.
And as we're on board there, Adam, you can hear him pedaling as they have to go to the bottom because I think Village got the message probably from his spotter that the 9 was using the outside so effectively as well as the 21. So Ross Chastain had to change his mind and go lower, and that car really needs to go lower. He needs to go with that fresh concrete on the outside you were talking about, pushing that groove all the way up to just get some grip in that right here tire. The bumper is not working for it.
When we're talking about these guys trying to make a lot of time up top, Allgaier and Freed, the 2 fastest cars right now, are wrapping the bottom. No, it is so difficult to convince yourself sometimes to what lane to run when you're hearing information about different things and you're feeling different things. You think the guy who's winning the race right now is running the bottom. So in this situation, you got a great battle here. You have to just go where the other cars are and make it work. Right. The man driver to watch long haul in this race is Joey. Because just knowledge that he continues to gain and push start here.
It also does continue to fight this race car. It just seems like as you get to the mid portion of the run, something goes amiss inside that car to what he wants it to be doing because he just starts to fall back. It's constantly on defense. Corner after corner, just can't seem to find the handle of the other two generates high momentum. They keep starting a lot of track position.
Yeah, short run and pit stops, man. Yeah. That's payoff big time. Is Sammy Smith is still out here battling for his life to try and keep track position, talking about it.
Jesse Lowe's been quiet. If you go to this race last year, started in the back, didn't make a qualifying run, drives up into the top three. I had him circled on my short list of drivers coming to the weekend, but they've not been quite as fast as I thought. And then there's, Harrison Burton in the 25, 13th. They need a good run. Came in just above the cut line, and he's trying to capitalize with another top 15.
I was hanging out with Jeffrey Love and his mauler earlier today, and his crew chief Danny Stockman after qualifying. He was quite quiet in terms of Danny because wasn't too impressed with their qualifying efforts around 15th, and Jesse didn't quite know what went wrong there. He was a little upset with himself as well, but he felt like at least what they were looking at, they were pretty good on the long run. I think we've seen that we've been able to make passes, though. And a car that can make passes here at Nashville usually means a fast race car. If you look at the 10 of Daniel Dye, hello, it's one way to make a pass.
We talk so much about this rookie class, and Dye is one that has been incredibly consistent versus some of the others, and showing again tonight in position to get a stage point or two again as we head toward the end of our second stint of the race.
Nothing can make me more frustrated for Taylor Grant in addition getting the bumps out of the way. Especially here, it's about 125 mile an hour mid corner speed here at Nashville.
That's the short track piece.
Yeah, that's the short track part.
Yeah, that's what starts to feel more like a short track, and it's something you don't see very often. That's for sure. But you see no harm, no foul.
Not anywhere you're doing 125 miles an hour in the middle of the corner. You're still going pretty fast right now.
Restart didn't go good for Josh Williams, but he's trying to make a comeback here. Racing full position. It's 13th on the Canadian Harrison Burton. And you look at Collie overall tonight. I'd say 3 in the top 15 with 2 rookies when you consider some of the challenges they faced this year. You'll take it as we head toward the end of stage 2. Very much in the game for the final run of the night.
And they need it. They desperately need it, especially that 16 car. Last week just getting a 9 with no stage points, but still having some positive movement in the points. I just think this team has so much promise, so much enthusiasm.
Oh, that guy's here. This is nice.
The Truck Series last couple of years was the 16 cars done with AJ Allmendinger and Alex Yance, who's the crew chief, who's done such great things at AJ. I think a lot of people look at this, including myself, as someone who they're going to be, right at the front immediately. They just had such a tough start to the season, Kim, but they're finally looking like they might be turning
Well,
around.
you're leaving.
Yeah,
You're leading.
has been great here in truck.
Yeah,
It's been great here in the past with AJ. When I checked in with crew chief Alex Johnson, it was interesting. I kind of asked him to reflect on the first half of the regular season versus where they are now. And he said, the biggest thing I'm trying to instill in Christian is we need to start having fun. He said,
I like the battles for the lead because somebody will get the edge and then the other driver's gonna come back and they're gonna get further. Well, you did the track pretty good.
Kurt is the guy that put the ton into it, but frankly, somebody out working responsible for him and told me that you reminds him of me, right? It just is.
There we go. That's how you act.
This is about having fun. We get
I think when I think Christian Eckes, I think a guy that wrecks a lot. Allgaier is leading. I haven't really been paying attention to this race. Christian Eckes is like the exact opposite. Yeah. I like Christian Eckes though.
No, God's cheater. They're all trying to act like, no,
Let's get the stop. They got a fucking caution stop.
I can't read these names on the bottom. Oh, both of my guys are back to back. The 30. Who is the 31 guy?
Perkins trying to
31 is Perkins.
finish stage 2.
Dang boy, you got this lead out good. You have a good lead.
Yeah.
Bro, that's a big lead. That was like the gap between I don't know and I don't know.
However, 2022, he got the sweep here at Nashville, and he also took the
Why
checkered
did you have
flag.
to tell us
Creed
however?
Almirola Zilic Chastain.
However,
Stage is down, and a good finish coming. We're live in Nashville on a Saturday night. It's the Xfinity Series on CW.
This races has been so boring.
At least I'm leading in a race.
Yeah, boys leading in my race. Rat boy, that's the first time I've seen you do the bottom. Usually just
I was not doing anything on the top in the first stage, so I like the end of the first stage. I was like, I'm gonna try at the bottom.
honestly, what got you the lead was the top race.
Well, I needed that to hold him off, and I pinched him down the racetrack where he couldn't do anything.
Oh,
He had to brake a little bit more, and now I'm just like trying my heart. Oh no! Lag going into 1 and 2 is insane.
well, you can do the corners better than I can. So I'm guessing you can basically pull it off. Zach is going to be merged.
Hey Dad, check this out. Baby back ribs. Where does it go? Nobody knows.
Okay, how did you do that?
Honey.
He burned in pretty good. That's a good merge.
You just at least not do it to the other.
Oh, there's a wreck.
Simply Safe Outdoor Monitoring. How do we compete with AI-powered outdoor cameras and live agent monitoring?
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Whoa, you see those snaps? There's no safe like Simply Safe.
From a very young
Oh man,
age,
I'm about to spin off on the car.
I used to turn into the happiness.
Wait, let me stop wiggling.
It's 8 out of 20 laps.
I think I'm gonna start on the top lane again.
You celebrate. Win twice, they call you a hero. 3 times, they say words like legend and dynasty. But when you've won it all 7 times, the trophy speaks for itself.
Wait,
Introducing the full lineup of Ram
13.
7-time winner of Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Right now, well-qualified current FC.
Guys, I want to start on the top lane.
Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $289 a month. See your Metro Detroit Ram dealer today.
Jorge has always put the ones he loves first, but he's let his own dental care take a backseat. Time for a shift. Because Aspen Dental offers free exams and x-rays for new
I want to
patients
start
without
right here,
insurance,
guys.
making it easier to get started with quality care.
I think the top lane did a little bit better on that one restart, so I'm gonna use it again.
It's more confusing than the Daytona 500. That's disgusting, man. It's just disgusting.
What's disgusting about Smooch your mother?
It's called being weird. That's like very weird, dude.
Gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Chef crafted. Dietitian approved. Ready in 2 minutes. Eat smart. With Factor.
No, it's 50 lap race, right? I don't know. Did you say that?
Eat dysfunction. Here's a sinking ship. Doesn't get
It's starting at 11 on CW.
Is it 40 or 50 laps?
I guess we're just gonna do 40 laps, so 9 to go.
CW Sports Xfinity Series is brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. and by Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.
I don't know what it was. I think it was 50. We're just gonna do.
Two stages.
Yeah,
Does that mean I'm in the stage?
You know.
The second stage.
Is it?
I just stepped outside and fixed the flag.
Got the vengeance
Look at
right now.
The race.
Not nice.
The batter is being mixed in the Justin Allgaier domination cake right now.
I think before the break, this finish kind of what?
No, I just stepped on the board for that.
Progressive is open. Here they are. Yeah.
Watch them come down pit road, starting with Eric Gutwell at the top of your screen. Said, I still
For
need
the
a little more
stage?
turn.
Yeah.
Still loaded up like air pressure.
I was like, for the race? Oh man, that'd be cool.
The box right there. He said free entry, tight center to fire off. But the longer I go, the more secure I get on the entry. But that tight center feels really badly. Air pressure adjustment.
Justin Allgaier has been really happy in clean air, but
Justin Allgaier.
free him up. Just a small track bar and small air pressure adjustment on the 7. Jaffe adjustment as well on the 88 and Connor Zilish. He reported that he was
Allgaier was ready to cry last time he raced.
They were on the first run, 4 tires of fuel for the 88.
He got beat.
Race off pit lane, and we have a change in the front as you look at our Progressive race off pit road. +1 for 3. Allgaier loses 1.
Going back to 6.
It says he gained a position now.
Yeah, he must have gained on. Adjustments. Adjustments.
Diabetes, but I'm managing well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. Take one daily giants and each day start.
Mother, I stepped on the porch and fixed the goddamn flag. Because it ain't windy anymore.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and no
I didn't realize it was going to be freezing out there. I could feel the coldness on my leg.
We're watching Boy in the Woods.
If you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, trouble breathing,
Not the
increased
one
ketones,
that's
Jardiance may cause
Ridiculous out there. You have on socks. You need socks.
Deep
Right.
general yeast infection,
Deep
urinary tract infection, low blood sugar, or a rare life-threatening bacterial infection.
What does debutt mean?
That means,
Call your doctor right away if you have fever or feel weak or tired, in pain, tenderness, swelling, or redness in the genital area. Don't use if allergic to Jardiance. Stop use if you have a serious allergic reaction. Call your doctor if you have rash, swelling, difficulty breathing.
Oh, this has got to be the boring interest. Yeah, real. They don't. And they make them so fake looking.
Yeah. They tell you all the stuff that could happen to you. Like, I don't want none of that.
If it causes me to like die, why would I take it? Like stomach issue, extreme diarrhea. I don't think anybody wants
Two legends come together. Legends eating legends.
any Taco Bell level diarrhea.
Doritos footlong nachos.
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's a lot of diarrhea.
I've always been an active person.
That
Yoga
sounds
is a big part of
disgusting.
who I am. I love how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
Not long ago, I felt I
That's
had to
for
hang
all
up the
them
phone every
potheads
night.
that smoke
You see,
pot.
I have symptomatic obstructive HCM, which left me so short of breath. I felt like a bystander in my own life. So I talked to my cardiologist, and he prescribed
Well,
Camzyos.
Ross,
He said it works by targeting what's causing my
Any
obstructive
wrecks happen?
HCM. Camzyos is used to treat
And it's bad. You think they don't
Oh,
know
you're
about
leading
hot
still?
dogs?
Camzyos may improve your
Oh,
symptoms
good.
and ability to be active. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including
I was sniffing it because it smells like
a
water.
risk that's increased with a serious infection, irregular heartbeat, or with no other
That one I had
Do
to
not
cut
go
the
outside
wick
with
on
any medicine or
because
dose without telling your doctor. You must have echocardiogram
you went to the end of
before
the
entering
flame
treatment.
is way too high. It's endless thing.
Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and current or planned pregnancy. With Camzyos,
never
reducing
heard
your
of
symptoms
before.
have gone from sitting on the sidelines to being back in the game. My name is Stephanie, and this is my Camzyos moment. Call your cardiologist today. See if a Camzyos moment may begin your future too.
This weekend continues Ford Driving for Adults, presented by the Gene Haas Foundation. 5 members of the Ford family of drivers, Sam Mayer, Shelton Creed, Harrison Wilson, Kyle Stig, and Ryan Stig are driving in honor of the charity. It's important to them, picking points throughout 4 races to raise money for the car. with a total of $50,000 being donated. After earning 38 points in Charlotte last weekend, Sam
Sheldon
Mayer
Creed won his
earned
first
the
race
vote
ever.
continues through the Pocono race, so keep tuning in to follow along and scan the QR code below.
I know, I'm the same. Can he win his first race ever?
I hope he doesn't, so we can have enough for
He
bids.
beat Allgaier, I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care, but I still want to lose.
Yeah, and you guys talked at the top of the broadcast about the roughness and reinforced, specifically the bump. Here's what Sheldon Creed noticed during that last run.
The yellow line and just kind of let it roll right around there. He can like get to the gas before the bump on the line, and it doesn't like where I try to run the bottom. Like with that bump, I have to like come across it as an angle, like probably what you see.
So that he was mentioning, that was Justin Allgaier. He watched what Justin did. So for our drivers, Parker and Austin, how do you defend that when you've noticed what Justin does and what he's able to do versus what you can do?
Well, that bump's big enough that you have to change how you drive the corner purely for the size and what that does to the downfield race car. And what Sheldon's seeing is that Allgaier can do things over that bump because it affects his car differently. So I think it's good to observe that, but sometimes you have to separate what you can and can't do in your car.
Ready for the
It's
final
hard to
stage.
cut these
Front row, Sheldon
widths.
Creed, Justin Allgaier. Here they are
This one
in the
needs to be
Echo
cut
Park
further.
Automotive Restart Zone.
Brandon Jones just wrecked everybody.
Oh my god, bruh. Yeah, Eckes got in it.
They cannot catch a break with that team.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Would have had to go for shift for all this to happen.
Brandon Jones.
Tires, the whole deal. Ryan Ellis, after a good race last weekend, first kill.
Yeah, Christian's probably gonna have to stop that car. Engine's overheating, losing all his fluids, radiators pushed in.
I mean, here's a guy that came in with so much optimism after a top 10 finish at Charlotte last week, and last year here at Nashville, leads every lap and wins the truck race, and tonight this. There'll be 5 DNFs in 14 races for Christian
This
Eckes.
is what it is.
And some have been mechanical, some have been at the wrong place at the wrong time, like this. They just cannot seem to catch a break. See how this unfolded.
Oh, he ran right in the back of whoever that was.
It's just that stack up. You see the separation, so the 0-0 sort of hesitated and they got in the restart zone. That caused an accordion effect.
Man, he
Chris Eckes
smoked
got
the
in back
guy in
there.
front of him.
So the 20 gets spun out as he tried to check the car.
Why?
Him on the outside.
And as a leader, you have the ability to launch whatever you want to.
No, Eckes ran into Harrison Burke. There goes Josh Williams.
Looking at Jane on her mile per hour or whatever, but a 0-0 didn't look like he launched or stopped. It just, the field was anticipating him to go early, and
Because the 0 doesn't know how to act when he's up front.
Yeah, because he's never up front.
That's right.
a lot of race cars torn up.
And I've seen this a couple times in the Xfinity Series. Actually, 2 years ago at New Hampshire, we had an incident like this. I did exactly what Chris Eckes did. And NASCAR will get on a lot of these teams for being too separated as
I've
you
heard
get
it.
towards the
I always
restart
wondered
zone
if
because
the positive was gripping.
instances like this, and it's also the reason you kind of want to have your spotter give you references
The
of
other
what
one
happened in
has
front
a
of you.
hard time
But when it happens that quickly for Christian Eckes,
You know,
you can't
the other
stop.
one, the
Suddenly the
plane's
25
like
is
way
stopped,
up there.
everybody gets through the gears and go as fast as you can.
That plane gets too high, shit gets too high.
Trying to anticipate this restart. He jumped forward, wasn't able to get it right. The double hadn't launched yet.
I know that's
And then this all goes back to the 16 car where he has this big impact.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they're even the way the camera is on top of today's car, where you have a better view. The driver has no clue, and that one happened really fast. To where spotters, might not even be able to react. So that's just a tough
tough gig there for Christian and that team.
And you brought up a great point, which is that
Christian was running like nine.
and all he can see
Yeah,
when he started that because you can't peek out, you can't move, you don't want to break the plane in the car in front of you. You have to
Man,
fall
you gotta
into the
take
track
off
between
on a
the line.
restart. You
All he can
can't.
reference off is the car in front. That's where you have to
That's why you're like an idiot.
Like Sheldon Creed.
Comes out early in our final stage. Creed, but
Tell Creed, gotta be the dumbest driver.
You know, life would be easier if I could do everything to my level.
Allow me to assist.
It worked. But I had a tomato.
That was a cough and a sneeze. What a combo.
Easy. Oh, up. State Farm with the assist.
However you grill, we've got the perfect one. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place. Like Weber, Big Green Egg, Krieger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty.
This Xfinity Wi-Fi is oof.
This is the one. She fixes, she manages, she provides. Because maintaining this space transports her to this space. The industrial grade product you need. Call, click, or stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Fill up on all the good stuff at Subway. All your faves packed with tons of crispy veggies and fresh sliced meats. And now buy any footlong in the app for $6.99. Great bread, great meat, great sauce, great deal. Get on it, people. Order now on the Subway.
Your shipping manager needs to find himself, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsored jobs on Indeed are 2.5 times faster to first hire. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
What?
How many left?
I'm not sure.
That's just a taste of our team of legends. Now you're up to speed.
I knew it. I thought something is different about my man.
It's Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew? Blue Chew. Blue Chew. Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. Done it again.
NASCAR on Prime at Nashville Super Speedway. Music. Let me tell you my favorite song. Rewind racing. And if you like it, you win.
NASCAR and Prime's not that bad. I like it a lot more than Fox.
Weight training with the Benedetto. I don't feel like that's a fair fight. Back can get after it. You know what I mean? Squat rack, bench press, whatever it is.
It's gotta be great motivation if you whatever it was.
Right
Feeling like you're not good enough.
Well, Matt's biceps are about the size of his Porsche. So, that's motivation.
So he's one of the 11 cars involved in this caution that comes out early, final stage. What do you guys notice here as we watch it a couple of more times?
Just taking a closer look at the 00 and the 7, just to see if maybe the 00 did have a checkup whatsoever. It really looks like what you pointed out, Austin, that the 88 was trying to anticipate when the 00 went, sort of mistimed it, and that's sort of then caused the improvement behind him, and all the cars started checking up. And they felt like when the 88 went, that was the cue to go.
Yeah, I completely agree. You don't see something too egregious. I think the 7 rolls into the zone a little bit quicker than the 00, but it doesn't. The tough part is it happens so far back. The small thing that happens with the 88 and the 00 just amplifies all the way back to the field. Obviously, you get all these red race cars.
Good cars, little for you, Team 88.
Yeah, Sheldon,
Now,
big
the other
dumbass.
Real.
Well, of course, if you're trying to anticipate it, you're going to feel that. We're trying to reference.
I tried to make that car as a 17 car, and it looked cool.
See, obviously, Connor has the best view of what he felt like the 00 did. That's something that NASCAR does not want to have. They're not allowed to sort of check out in the
Sat
restart
down
zone,
and
play
then
those sorts of
restarted.
games. They will call you out on that, especially if it's egregious. I just didn't see it there out of the 00. To me, it's like he just chose to go later in the box, didn't accelerate what others thought, and it feels like Connor's position that that's what he should check. Kim?
Yeah, we saw Brandon Jones part of that incident. While he avoided disaster, he didn't come out unscathed. Came on the radio after sliding around Christian Eckes and said, "I feel like I flat spotted my tires." They kind of debated on the radio, and Sam McCauley, the crew chief, said, "Well, a flat
I
spot's
think
better
if you
than
flat
very
spot
light
your
spots." So
tires
they
when
did
you
not wanna
spin
put
out,
Lance at a good
yeah.
year. Do not have extra tires for this race. Ultimately, though, they just brought him down. They felt like their best shot was to put on those sticker tires. So he has on his last set of Goodyear tires with 84 laps to go here tonight, Dylan.
And Kim, we've talked a lot tonight about the rubber pickup and the rubber that's getting laid down on the racetrack. Here's a pretty good example of what a tire looks like that just came off of a race car that has a lot of buildup on it. This is the right front off of Justin Allgaier's car that just came off the race car. And when they took it off, I thought that there was a problem with it because there's a ridge, probably the thickness of a coin, all the way around this tire that is just rubber buildup. That's basically been pulled off the racetrack. And here's where you can kind of see what a quote-unquote clean tire looks like, this bottom part of the racetrack. So Parker, Austin, you guys can kind of elaborate on this. When they tell you on the radio, make sure you get these tires cleaned off, this is why, because there's a pretty significant difference here between what you pull up off the racetrack and maybe what you want to put back down on the racetrack.
We talk about that color change in the surface. That's why the color changes. Where it goes, pulling that all off the racetrack, and it's got to go somewhere.
And that's to your point, Dylan. That's all that we see these cars weaving back and forth and trying to keep those tires clean, especially if you have hot tires after a long run and you do it.
I can imagine what a die cast would look like in that car because the number's so high up it would look weird.
Towards the end of stage one, it feels like you have no grip whatsoever. If you still have some of that on your tires, you've got to work them in. It's so tough.
So much conversation about that last restart. Let's go on board and listen with Sheldon Creed in the 00.
Which floor to go? Where do you come by? Right way? Yeah. Why are you in the bad mood?
I'm still nervous. Like one mess up, yeah.
I feel like we got the tail end of that 40 celebration.
Well, one mess up would be like
When you go
you guys being close together, not
a multitude of different
just
depends on the speed, depends on the life of the tire, or whatever. Some guys might drive brakes.
you're doing faster than
Think we're getting
Fast enough? I got a big
but
lot.
that's what you'll be listening for is what he does. What's the
Yeah, we get earlier now. That was a little different.
he overdrew the corner, didn't he?
3 laps.
He looks like he lost a lot of ground.
rest of the field anticipates something, and the only guy that doesn't change is the leader. And I really can't look at that and think that the Sheldon really.
What
did
is
anything
this?
wrong, But that tells me this field is amped up. The sun is down. We are going racing. These guys are ready to make moves because track position is important. We've seen
See what this dude does.
passes are hard to complete.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a damage to me either.
And that's the same stuff
Shut
that
up.
we also look at
Who?
he chucked up in the restart zone. He says, when you hit
I haven't been paying attention.
it's consistent all the way to the restart zone, and then let's go.
We got
Here we
another
go.
restart coming.
Let's
Who? Who go? Yeah.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin.
Hit the wall.
Despite treatment, it's
Yeah,
still
don't
not
look like
working.
he's catching me.
14% left.
On your phone?
Reduces the itch
No.
and helps clear
I-
the eczema fast.
On your phone, it wouldn't be a
Some
good
significant itch
No,
relief
I
as
think-
early as 2 days.
Yeah.
And some achieve dramatic skin clearance as early as 3 weeks.
Flag,
Many
this
signs
combo.
White.
clear skin.
I
Plus,
think you can have.
Oh,
clears skin and itch even at 4 years.
Lower ability to fight infections.
Yeah,
Before
bro.
treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, and fatal. Cancers including lymphoma,
He's happy,
serious allergic
bro. I don't think
reactions,
he's
GI
having fun.
tears, death.
You don't got no time.
CV effectiveness increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell
It's
your
gonna be
doctor
you,
about these events, infection,
him,
Hep B or C,
and Train.
smoke, are pregnant or planning.
Don't
Don't
he's
get
got
allergic
you
or
know.
have an infection.
Disrupt the
He tried.
eczema. Talk to your dermatologist about Rinvo.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
There's a reason they don't call them clean bikes, am I right?
Hey, he left as soon as he.
Gas stations.
You gotta start at the top.
I recorded.
Down.